Arrma's Granite and Typhon Grom are some of the coolest little RC cars you can get, but they've got one significant weak point to them, and Arrma has released an update that hopefully will address that weak point. And that update is a new, stronger differential. This is going to be a running change that will go in all new Granite and Typhon Groms, and we're going to take a closer look at this, compare it to the original differential, see what's new, and then we're going to take it out, torture test it, and see exactly how strong this new version is. But before we do that, we need to take this Granite Grom and put it back to a stock drivetrain. We're going to do this so we know for sure what the weak point is in the drivetrain when this thing breaks, as it inevitably will when we bash it hard on 3S with big tires. I've called the Grom cars the best small cars you can buy, and there's been quite a bit of controversy around that. I wanted to talk about why I think these Grom cars are some of the best small RC cars you can buy. There are definitely options that'll get you more features for less money. However, these things are super easy to work on, are overall good quality, handle mild brushless power very well, and are generally pretty reliable RC cars. It's also really nice to see Arrma paying attention to what their customers are saying and addressing problems on the fly. Most of the Amazon special cars that you buy are just clones of other cars, and a lot of the manufacturers don't really put a lot of effort into making the cars better for us. Of course, a lot of that first-party Horizon advantage seems to have gone away lately, and we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. One of the big advantages of this platform is what you're seeing here. I'm using a 2mm hex on this. A lot of the other options in this size are using self-tapping Phillips screws, and those are okay, but they're certainly not as easy to work with, and they usually come in a bunch of different sizes, which makes the process of repair a lot more difficult. Parts availability should be another great advantage for these cars, but the differentials have been hard to come by, and of course we know why now because they've been making these updated ones. Speaking of which, let's take a closer look at these now. First of all, here's an original Grom differential. We have plastic output cups and plastic gears inside. Of the two differentials I've broken, both of them have been these little ears on the plastic output cups. There are a couple manufacturers that make these same output cups but in steel, so those could be a good upgrade if you want to keep your stock differentials. However, I'm curious to see if this has been updated with the new differentials from Arrma. The other major weak point has been these internal plastic differential gears. I've never broken one, but I've seen other people who have. Now let's take a look at the new one. We can see that the ring gear appears to be identical between the two. And removing this output cup, it also appears as though this is identical. I don't see any difference between the two whatsoever, so it doesn't look like we've got any extra strength in these output cup ears. And opening this up, we can see the main difference here, and that is that these internal differential gears are metal. Looks like the side gears are still plastic though. Let's take a closer look at these. As you can see, we've got metal gears here on steel pins, whereas on the previous version, we had plastic gears with integrated plastic pins. Now, I'm really curious to see what the weak point's gonna be on this new updated differential. I was really hoping to see a new updated output cup as well. However, it doesn't look like we're gonna get that in this instance. With this all back together, I will say that the differential action does feel more smooth than it did with those plastic gears, so that's going to be another advantage that you'll get with these metal gears. For this test, we are going to be pushing this drivetrain to failure. We've got a huge ESC in here and a big brushless motor. Because we want to test the entire drivetrain, I'm going to put the original plastic steel hybrid dog bones in here, and instead of running the tiny little stock tires, we're going to be running these big tires off the Team Associated 14MT while I'm getting this new updated differential installed. Let me know down in the comments what you think is going to break, because something's going to break by the end of this video. And while you're down there, if you enjoy these kinds of torture tests, make sure you get subscribed, because we do this kind of stuff on the channel all the time. If you're running big power on these trucks, the real solution is to get the sealed all steel differential that they offer. Unfortunately, this has been kind of hard to come by as well, but this is what Arrma recommends even in their update announcement for these new differentials that we're going to be trying today if you're going to be running big power. Of course, we're going to ignore all that and run big power on this one. And of course, if you're going to be running big power, I also recommend you run the CVDs, but the point of this experiment is to see what the weak point's going to be on the stock system with this updated differential, so no upgraded CVDs here. Speaking of upgrades, make sure you stay tuned, because coming up very soon, I've got a video coming out that's going to talk all about how you can make your own upgrades and the best current methods for doing so. Now, my guess is that the failure mode is going to be those ears on the differential output cups, but who knows? Maybe they put some secret sauce in those as well that isn't readily apparent, and something else will break. But you know what? There's only one way to find out. Let's go see what breaks. Maybe there is some secret sauce in these new differentials. I ran 2 full packs like that and nothing broke. That's really surprising to me because I broke several of those stock differential output cups before switching over to the upgraded steel units. That being said, I don't think it's going to hold up to standing backflips on concrete, but let's go find out. All right, let's actually break it. Well, we finally broke it, but surprisingly, it was not the rear differential. We broke one of the front CVDs, snapped the pin right out of it, which is another fairly common failure point for these cars with the stock CVDs in them. It just ripped right out of the plastic. However, I don't really blame the drivetrain for that. This thing is running at least 3 times the stock power. And as you saw there, I was literally just holding the throttle on to see what broke on concrete. Something was going to give, but it was not the differential. So at least the gears in these new updated differentials are much, much better. And they might have done some sort of revision to the output cups that isn't apparent to the naked eye because they seem stronger as well, though I can't guarantee it. So if you've got one of these Groms, I definitely recommend updating to the latest version of the differentials. Supposedly these are going to be coming in all of the new Groms. However, there's probably going to be a lot of old stock out there for a while. So if you buy a new Grom, you might want to get it directly from Horizon. I've heard nothing about what they're going to be doing as far as warranty replacements are concerned, but they probably will be replacing previous version broken differentials with this new version. If you want to get the new version, you should probably call them soon because I expect these to sell out quickly between warranty claims and people just buying them to update their Groms. And of course, all that being said, if you really want to go big power, and as long as you can actually get a hold of them, these all steel differentials are definitely the way to go. And then of course you want to get the all steel CVDs because as you can see, the plastic part of the plastic hybrid stock CVD is now almost certainly going to be the weak point. If you like Grom content, make sure you get subscribed because I've got some really cool things coming and we're going to be doing a giveaway that you're not going to want to miss. And it's free to subscribe, so why not do it anyway? Once you're done doing that, take a look at one of these videos.